Hello and welcome to Network. My name is Spumelele Zondi with your technology and social media news. If you want to be a part of our tech conversation, it is SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. It's newsnetwork@sabc.co.za on email. Our Twitter poll this week is asking you what you think of the new iPhone 11 and the iPhone Pro with triple cameras. Results of that are coming up later in the program. First, here's what's coming up tonight. We go to the SABC African Digital Festival that took place at Timulogong in Johannesburg. We go to the AI Africa Expo that took place in Cape Town. And our discussion is looking at what happens when the story crosses borders with the use of social media and why it changes what it's about at times. So art and the digital world met up at Timulogong at the SABC African Digital Arts Festival that took place recently. Producer Sandile Hlangani was there.
The festival is a digital arts festival that's been running for about 5 years, and we decided this year to partner with the festival because the Cultural Economies Platform is a new project by the Goethe Institute. It's a pilot project that's looking at entrepreneurship, that's looking at the economic value of the arts, and in where the conversation is in South Africa around fourth industrial revolution and the innovations in the digital space that are globally happening and affecting our lives. And we thought that this might be a platform, which is the festival, to bring a conversation that tries and bridge the gap.
What I do is, in a sense, really offering technological tools to different communities to get them to think about what concerns them about their relationship with the city. It could be air quality issues, safety while walking on the streets, or to the impact of legislative changes to the country. And it's, in a sense, to get them to be innovative and as designers themselves to think about how they want to use the wearable to collect data and what happened when they collect the body of data, what they're going to do with it.
I think we're trying to rethink of how we can create economy out of what we produce culturally or creatively. And we're thinking that there is a commonality between technology and the world we live in, and there needs to be a way that creative or cultural goods live within the technological space so that they can actually have a dialogue and speak to each other, and people can benefit from whatever innovation or technical innovation that is happening in our current.
Technology is something that can really help connect people together. There's a lot of issues with technology that arise, but one of the things it does very well is help to connect people together, to do things together that they wouldn't otherwise have done. And so I think that what's interesting is to see the introduction now of more and more programs and platforms for people to be creative together and to kind of have a more creative impact on the world around them.
If we look at what's happening now in the world itself, I mean, a lot of technology is getting more and more embedded in the infrastructures in the city, and it's definitely affecting a lot with how we live our everyday life, especially for young people who's born in this era where technology is right within their reach itself. So it's going to have a huge impact to them when they grow up in the future using it.
Now, artificial intelligence is part of a lot of what we do nowadays. A lot of people still don't really understand what it's all about. That's why we went to the AI Africa Expo that took place in Cape Town.
The AI Expo Africa took place in Cape Town earlier this week. The event is the largest business-focused artificial intelligence and data science community event in Africa, where a number of delegates came together to share ideas and the importance of artificial intelligence. The Expo celebrated its first year, and organizers spoke about why the event was conceptualized.
We've created AI Expo Africa because we wanted to bring buyers and suppliers together to make a market. So there's a lot of events which are traditionally academic, but there was never really a trade show which allowed buyers and suppliers to come together. And we saw an opportunity to create that last year. We launched AI Expo Africa 2018 last year. We spent a year planning that, and this is the second edition of the show, and it's grown.
Artificial intelligence is the development of computer systems that perform tasks normally requiring human intelligence, such as visual perception, speech recognition, and decision making. One of the co-founders also spoke about the role of education in AI.
Part of our journey is an educational journey to help businesses, organizations and governments understand what AI is in very practical terms, find the real-world solutions to some of the issues that Nick mentioned, healthcare, food security, that kind of thing. And obviously this is the marketplace and the forum for those people to find those, to understand AI in the first place, then find the solutions and find the people that are going to assist them on that artificial intelligence journey to benefit their businesses and their organizations.
With over 700 delegates, 60 speakers, over 40 exhibitors, the event allied to the unique Innovation Cafe showcasing the latest in AI. One of the standouts of the expo was the Robon team from the University of Bordeaux, who showcased several demonstrations of their soccer-playing robot. Professor Olivier Lay of the university gave us his thoughts on the future of robotics and artificial intelligence.
To weed the field, to get something to eat, it's essential. And if you don't have chemistry, then you have to find a mean. People can do it, but with a large scale it's difficult, so robotic is a solution. And for me, I think that maybe in 10 years there will be a lot of robots even in the countryside.
Technologies are emerging and affecting our lives in ways that indicate that we are in a fourth industrial revolution, an era that will build and extend the impact of digitization. Minister of Telecommunications Stella Ndabeni-Abrahams spoke about how this revolution will have a positive impact in the years to come. However, this will not be achieved without the necessary assistance.
The previous revolutions have not helped Africa to develop much. We were consumers. We believe that the fourth industrial revolution can change things for us as a developing continent that is rich in content and capable people. All we need is assistance in terms of exposure to the technologies, in terms of being assisted with digital skills transfer, and of course given an opportunity to help you talk to us in a language we better understand.
The AI Expo Africa is the largest business-focused AI community event in Africa. The 2019 conference and expo builds upon the success of the inaugural event that took place in Cape Town last year.
This is Sostene Uringie. He has been unwell for a while, too weak to go to the nearest healthcare center, which is situated 25 kilometers away from his home just outside Rwanda's capital, Kigali. Sostene has decided to try the Babylon app, a mobile app that brings virtual medical services to Rwandans, especially those living in remote or rural locations. Using a smartphone, patients dial a number and request an appointment with a doctor via the app.
The patient will receive an SMS with some code, and as a referral letter, that code, they will use it and they can see what exam I've been ordering. And after that, they will send results through our other system, my portal. And after that, I will call you, and I can prescribe some medication depending on the results and depending on the disease.
The London-based tech firm, founded in 2013 by entrepreneur Ali Pasa, aims to offer medical advice on a par with a family doctor by using AI to assess symptoms.
In Africa, we don't have sufficient doctors. In Africa, we don't have sufficient clinics. It actually makes sense in settings like Africa. And just looking at our example here in Rwanda, where we have grown, our traction grows so much. Starting from 2016, where we used to have 5 consultations a day, now we're having on average between 2,500 and 3,000 consultations a day. This in itself shows traction. We've managed to register more than 2 million people here in Rwanda in a population of about 12 million. This shows traction. It shows that there is a need, and this is actually solving people's needs.
But some Rwandans are still skeptical of this new technology and say they prefer accessing healthcare the traditional way. However, Sage reiterates that the digital platform is not here to replace traditional medicine or treatment, but rather improve ways people access healthcare.
South Africa experienced horrible xenophobic attacks recently, and when the story crosses borders, you find that it changes through what people say on social media. Sometimes events that happen in other parts of the world are transferred to what happened in South Africa recently. After the break, we chat about why and how the story changes context when it crosses borders through the use of social media. We chat to the Durban University of Technology's Tony Manyankate about that one. It is SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. News Network at sabc.co.za on email. Stay with us. It is SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Welcome back. Now, with the recent xenophobic attacks that took place in South Africa, what was evident is that the story, through the use of social media, was changing form and direction. There was a building in India that was brought down to South Africa and suddenly was part of the recent xenophobic attacks. There was an event of a Burning Man that took place in Hillbrow in January in 2019 that was suddenly also brought forward to the recent xenophobic attacks. There was even a photograph of a Burning Man from 2008 that was brought to 2019 to also be part of the xenophobic attacks. So why does the story change form and direction when it crosses borders and with the use of social media? We have a conversation with Tony Manyankate from the Durban University of Technology about this one. Tony, thank you very much for being a part of our network tonight. Maybe if we can start by explaining whether social media is a good tool to share information in times of crisis.
In times of crisis, I definitely agree that social media is a good tool to use because it is very quick. If you look at states, radio is no longer breaking news as fast as social media. You get Twitter. You know, if something happened, Twitter is the first place to break the news. So I think social media is definitely a good tool to use in times of crisis. It gets the message across very fast and very quickly. However, the problem comes when people use social media irresponsibly, and I think we've seen that during the past 2 weeks or so, especially here in South Africa, where there's been unrest and looting, and I think some have actually said it's xenophobic attacks. So you get to find out that people tend to share things irresponsibly. Mostly not journalists per se, but citizens in general, people that have not been trained to gather news and to circulate news. So most of them do it for likes, for retweets and for attention. So that is a very big problem when it comes to social media.
If I am someone who uses social media to get news and information, how should I use it then?
For the general citizens out there, you just need to be responsible to verify sources of news or of information that you are circulating. So if you're on WhatsApp, for instance, and then someone sends you a message, verify with that person first if they're verified from where they're getting the information from. If it's a news site, check whether it's a credible news source or it's just some of these news websites that are created for specifically to share news that is not true, to cause instabilities in some cases.
Can there be situations where people on purpose use social media to distort information?
Yeah, there's actually a possibility. It also falls under propaganda. You get maybe people in authority doing that on purpose, or there are some other people with maybe exterior motives. They just want to cause instability in a country, in an environment, and then use that chaos to loot and to do other things that are unlawful, using instability that they would have created as cover.
You speak about the far-reaching effects of sharing false information on social media. What are those far-reaching effects?
There might be genuine concerns or maybe events that are happening in South Africa right now pertaining to xenophobia and all of that. But then some of the footages, like you have just said, that have been circulating on social media, they are not a true representation of what is really on the ground. So you get, videos and footages from 2008 being shared. Not just xenophobia related videos, but you are getting some videos from India, some videos from very dangerous places like Iran of people being killed, and and then it's if you are watching it from the outside and you are not really aware of what is happening on the ground, you then tend to judge or to reach conclusions based on that particular information without really verifying. You have seen countries like Nigeria, some citizens, because of social media, because of what they've been receiving on social media, they've started retaliating and actually going on, and maybe I've seen a video of them assaulting supposedly an ambassador from SA to Nigeria. So you get people going as far as that shops, SA-owned businesses in Nigeria have been looted because of the footage that they've been seeing on social media of events that might not even be related to what is happening in South Africa presently. So those are some of the dangers of social media.
Can people really verify, though, in times of hysteria and crisis?
It's almost impossible. It's almost impossible to really verify, because social media is very, very broad. And right now, I think we are still trying to understand social media. We are still trying to understand the impacts of it in our real society. So to verify sometimes it's not possible because it happens so fast. Within a second, you can send information from South Africa to someone who's in the UK within a second. So for you to then really sit down and verify and try to trace who is sending it, whether it's true, whether it's false, it becomes very difficult because of the time factor. Social media is very fast. It's very fast. So I think it's now a duty of us all, internet users, to be vigilant when you are sharing, when you are posting, to verify stories, to verify pictures, especially when it comes to issues to do with people's lives. You need to verify before you even share. Go an extra mile to check whether the article is real, whether the website is actually real, or they're just fake stories, fake news that are going around.
How should authorities and government deal with information that's constantly being shared on social media?
I think government departments must have a presence on social media. They are supposed to be taking part in social media, in communicating with people, in engaging with people on social media. Because what happens is, because social media is just easy to be on, people are on there and using fake names. So you get someone who has an account of maybe the president of South Africa, but it's a fake account. And then because it has so many followers, it begins to tweet like he's representing the president of South Africa, of which it might not be the case. So government departments, government officials, top government officials must have official handles that they actually verify, maybe through using videos. I think the former president of South Africa, Jacob Zuma, came on Twitter recently, and the first post he had was him it's also really a video of him saying, okay, hi, I've decided to join social media and all of that. I think it actually limits people from creating fake accounts and using your name to communicate wrong information. So government departments should do that, should be on social media, should use verified Twitter handles, verified Facebook accounts, and all of that. They need to be actively involved to counter fake news and fake information that is going around.
Tony, thank you very much for being a part of our network tonight.
Sanibonani, I'm Shani. This is Shoma Josie, aka the captain of the Limpopo Champions League, or the Black Cinderella. My favorite piece of technology is my phone, I have to say, because it's my office. I send emails, I take pictures, I do everything on my phone. I'm absolutely obsessed with it. Social media, everything. One of my first songs was doing a phone, which is absolutely true.
It is SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. News Network at sabc.co.za on email. Welcome back. Here's what else took place in the rest of the world in the technology space.
Tech giant Apple Inc. launched its latest flagship smartphone, the iPhone 11 and 11 Pro. The company revealed its new iPhone 11 will come with two back cameras, including an ultra-wide-angle lens and the next generation of microchips, the A13, and a few big apparent changes.
This is iPhone 11, the next generation of iPhone, and it is jam-packed with great new capabilities and an incredible new design.
We have an amazing dual camera system with an all-new wide camera, with a new sensor with 100% focus pixels for faster autofocus, 3 times faster in low light. And we have a new ultra-wide camera with 120-degree field of view. This will let you capture way more in your photos and videos. Because now you can take a wide camera shot like this, but switch to the ultra-wide to reveal the scale. Yes.
iStore South Africa released a statement that the device will be available locally from the 27th of September. The company also added that there will be price cuts for customers that will be upgrading their iPhones. And now in China. Jack Ma, co-founder and CEO of China's largest online retailer, Alibaba, was scheduled to step down from his position as the company's executive chairman last Tuesday. Last year, Jack Ma announced in an open letter that he would retire on his 55th birthday, which was on September 10th this year. And the company CEO Daniel Zhang will take over as the chairman of the board. Ma's journey from English teacher to tech tycoon is one of modern China's best-known success stories. And now we head to England. Gloves with built-in spinning gyroscopes are helping people with Parkinson's disease and essential tremor regain control of their hands.
We have an aerospace-grade gyroscope in this. It functions exactly like a top. So as the top spins, it tries to stay upright. So in the same way with this, the glove actually counteracts your hand tremors immediately and instantaneously. So as you shake, it automatically cancels out the shakes.
Ong put his medical career on hold to develop the product, which he hopes will be given medical approval in the US and EU next year.
This week, our Twitter poll is asking you about the newly announced iPhone 11 and the iPhone 11 Pro with triple cameras. We're asking you what you think about the device. Now, there's 21% of you who say you like the devices. At 14% are those of you who say you don't really like them. That number is in last position. At 22% are people who say they haven't seen it yet. And at 42% are those of you who say you don't really care about these devices. That's in the majority. All right, that's all we have for you. Remember that we can still carry on the conversation online. It is SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. It's News Network at sabc.co.za on email. From me, Sphumelele Zondi and the rest of the team right here in Durban. Thank you very much for being a part of our network. Have a good one. It's good night.